right, go.
My name is Erin Reed with Politically Active, and I'm here with Jeremy Dean running for the general city council seat. So I have a couple questions to ask you, and I want to run through them real quick. So my first question, since housing and crime have been two of the biggest topics right now, with more housing also comes more parking issues, which is also another hot item. The American Institute of Architects completed a national study in 2020 that found that parking facilities are more likely settings for violent and property crimes than any other real estate besides residences. What do you think can be done to improve the situation here in Springfield, and how would you promote crime prevention through environmental design throughout the city?
Yeah, so I think it's important, like you said, the way that we build these facilities. Whenever you look at parking lots, a lot of times they're big open spaces with no cameras, police don't really monitor them a lot because they're private property most of the time. So it leaves a big open space for a lot of people to come in. So whenever we're looking at these things, we have to look at the space that we're building in. So maybe instead of making larger ones, we can make up and build upwards. Whenever we're looking downtown, which we know is a higher crime area, utilizing our street parking and the parking garages that are private, or making smaller parking lots but more of them in the areas, that way we can see what's going on in those. I think it's important that we just look at the environment that parking lot or that area is going to be going into, and that's essentially how we can use the environment, and specifically by paying attention to that specific area.
You have also made it very clear that you are in support of local business.
Yes.
How do you think Amazon moving into Republic is going to affect Springfield businesses? And how do you plan to kind of prop up the local guy versus big businesses like that?
Yeah, so there's always the benefit of having big companies come into the area. It brings jobs, it brings economic vitality. As far as the Springfield businesses, although it may cause some deficiencies in them because we may get it cheaper or faster somewhere else, I think it still opens the door for Springfield businesses to be able to utilize Amazon. Maybe the depot's closer so they can drop off their products and stuff so they can sell to people around the country. That's something that we could utilize Amazon directly for. I think it's also important that whenever we're looking at big companies like that coming into Springfield, that we look at who's building those facilities and who's actually manufacturing those. For example, Amazon rebuilt the entire road in front of them. They built that entire facility. That's in the area where we can use our local labor. We can use our building and construction trades to actually build those buildings and put that money into their pockets so that we're keeping it here local.
I love that. That's a great point. That road was awful before they moved in.
So,
now it's like a traffic light there and everything. So how do you propose that safe and affordable housing becomes kind of the norm again in Springfield? And I do acknowledge that you believe in development and building new properties, but that was kind of years away. So what about right now?
Yeah, so right now I think what we need to focus on is the abandoned housing that we have here in Springfield. There are so many houses that are bought maybe by one person that owns 10 houses, but that one person only lives in one of them. So those other 9 houses are just sitting empty in our neighborhoods. We have to start a program so that we can help revitalize those programs, make it more accommodating and efficient for people to buy those homes, fix them up, and actually utilize them for single-family homes. That way we can get those people that are on the streets right now into homes, kind of reduce that, and then once we get to that point to where we have our homes in our neighborhoods where we want to be, then we can start looking at development and growing and building new buildings, but we have to get those houses revitalized first.
In a Springfield Citizen article, you had said that we must increase the use of our local nonprofits and mental health providers to help get the resources to the people who need them. Would you kind of go into a little bit of explanation on how you would get those resources to those people?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of those first things is just making sure that we have a staffed police force, making sure that those people that are in the support positions behind the police officers are also filled. So that's people that work inside the police department. That's also people that work with our local nonprofits like Rural Behavioral Health, Harmony House, and making sure that they have all of the resources that they need to help meet the demands of our community. So what that looks like is whenever a police officer is out and they see that they need somebody, whether it be Rural or Harmony House, that they have that person there with them, or they can get them there very quickly so that we can get that resource directly to the person and they can get taken care of at that immediate time.
And that's my last question. So Hammond's Field and its parking lot are being bought by the city of Springfield. Basically, in short, the MLB is requiring that the stadium make $4 million in renovations and repairs to stay operational. What is your opinion on that possible allocation of funds to the Cardinals rather than something like affordable housing or something?
Yeah, so I understand why we chose to make that purchase whenever we did. If we didn't, it would have sat empty, and it just becomes another empty lot that we have in Springfield, which would have been a complaint 5 years from now anyway. We also have the economic benefit that we get of that. Now that the city owns it, there's going to be more events. It's going to be open more times throughout the year, which increases the amount of people that can have those part-time, and they're also said that they're going to do full-time positions there as well. So we have those economic benefits. When you're talking about housing and stuff like that, I do think that that's important. And I think the main thing that I like to point out is that if we are able to find $16 million to buy a stadium, surely there's somewhere else that we can find money to help people get in their home. So I would just like to use and look around and see what we can find other funds to help those areas. So
That's great. That's all my questions, so that's all
Thank
I
you.
have. Thank you so much.